Some women spend forever trying to get into the perfect relationship, only to get inside of one and they still don't feel seen, valued, cherished, or emotionally safe. And that's because commitment and love are not the same thing. Many women are chasing the feeling of being chosen. And there's something to be said about wanting the title, wanting the exclusivity, wanting the recognition, wanting the commitment, wanting to feel like someone has finally picked you. And I know that pick meism has become all the rage over the past decade, and no one wants to be identified as pick Misha. But as a recovering pygmy myself, not so much in the area of relationships anymore, thankfully, but in the area of career and work and things of that nature, I expressed it in my last video. Still feeling like there's something to prove in order to be chosen, to validate myself outside of myself by way of people pleasing. That's, some ways that this can show up, wanting to be chosen by a boss or, in a business situation. Well, the same thing is the case when it comes to love and relationships. And oftentimes we want to feel chosen or seen or picked and validated because for the longest time we felt deprived. We have often felt that way since early childhood and adolescence. I've said it in my previous videos. It's never anything really new because when you feel chosen based on the fact that you're choosing yourself, we're choosing ourselves. We don't need to contort ourselves and overdo it in any capacity to get somebody else to do what we're already doing. When you've struggled with rejection, abandonment, or feeling overlooked for the longest, feeling seen, feeling recognized, feeling chosen can feel incredibly important. It can feel like the proof I'm finally enough, you're finally enough. We've made it. We've done what we thought and what maybe we perceive others have thought we couldn't do. Being chosen can become a substitute for self-worth. And this is touchy because oftentimes this exposes our lack of self-worth, self-love, self-esteem. And when you think about it in terms of this is where we see that it's really not about a relationship at all. It's about what being chosen actually means to us. It's the validation. It's the proof that we are, in fact, lovable if we felt like we haven't been lovable by way of not feeling chosen. It's the proof outside of ourselves if we have someone else to give it to us because oftentimes we are not choosing ourselves, we are not validating ourselves, we're not loving ourselves, we're not doing the things that we need to do within. We're looking for someone outside of us, to give us what we're lacking internally. People can choose you and still be incapable of loving you well. And that's the thing that we have to understand. Attention doesn't mean love. Attention doesn't mean commitment. It doesn't mean integrity. It doesn't mean good character. It doesn't mean any of these things. People can choose you for all different types of reasons, and it's important to be able to discern and decipher what those reasons actually are. Because someone can choose you and still be emotionally unavailable. Someone can choose you and still be inconsistent. Someone can choose you and still lack emotional maturity. Because a lot of times men think if they've got the looks, if they've got the money, that they don't need it. And when we settle for less when it comes to those deeper core relationship needs and values, we reinforce the belief that they don't need to have emotional maturity. They don't need to be emotionally available as long as we're still around because it beats us not having someone and not feeling chosen, right? Again, someone can still choose you and not meet your needs, because oftentimes we're meeting our own needs along with the needs of a man in a relationship. Because when we are struggling with worthiness on the inside, we think we have to overperform and overgive and overdo to have someone. Sometimes we've been conditioned to believe that's just how it is, that's just how relationships are, and they're not healthy ones anyway. Love is demonstrated differently than selection. So when we think about what real love actually is, it shows up as consistency. This person is there day in and day out. It shows up as emotional safety. They're not gaslighting you. They're not leaving you hanging. They're a space for you to be authentically yourself without punishing you or without ignoring or neglecting you. They're not running away from your emotions, because a lot of times they're not running away from theirs, or at least they're seeking to try to understand their own in addition to yours. It shows up as effort. They're going to go out of their way when they can to show that they love and appreciate you. They're going to put in the time to plan things as it concerns you. It shows up as consideration. So whatever it is that they are doing for themselves or getting for themselves, they're including you in on that. Is there something that you would like? They're thinking about the things that you may want or need, and they're considering you in their decision-making processes. It shows up as respect. They're going to respect your boundaries, hopefully without you having to ask for it or without you having to assert your boundaries. But even still, whether you say them or not, it shows up as, I understand and I'm going to honor what you have requested. I'm going to honor what you have told me your needs are. Again, I want to hone in on the fact that a relationship status does not equal intimacy. A proposal does not create emotional safety. And a title such as fiance or wife does not create emotional connection. I used to preach marriage as the goal. If you go back and look at my older videos, you will see how that was just the dangling carrot. And for a lot of us women, it is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I am living in that experience, and it's a wonderful one to have, but without having a firm foundation underneath it all, none of it is going to matter, because we'll continue to perpetuate the same experiences from dating to situationships to relationships to a marriage. If the foundation of self-love and self-worthiness is not there, it doesn't matter. You'll end up feeling the same way that you have in all the other crash and burns before it. So to reframe it, think about it in terms of this. Being chosen answers the question, do they want me? But being loved answers the question, how do they treat me once they have me? One of the biggest shifts in healing is getting away from asking the question, how do I get chosen, to asking, is this relationship actually capable of giving and sustaining healthy love? Heavy emphasis on the word healthy. Now, if you've spent years choosing and seeking validation through relationships, this is exactly the deeper type of pattern work I help women explore in my programs. If you are ready for transformation in your inner world, transformation that reflects in your outer experiences to get new outcomes in your dating and relationship life, click the link in the description box below this video to learn more and to be a part of the Love Life Transformation community, and to start my new digital course, Break the Pattern of Choosing Wrong Men. As always, let me know how this hits for you in the comments. I'd love to hear your perspectives and to get your feedback and your thoughts. And when you're done with that, be sure to check out my previous video if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.